Welcome to the beaches of Capo d'Orlando.
Retirement, the final chapter. These are the adventures of the Great Banana. Its one-year mission: to explore strange new foods, to seek out new pastas, and new ways to screw things up. To boldly go where no banana has gone before.
Good morning. It's another beautiful day in paradise. So before I get into the episode and introduce you to Elysium, let me just recap a bit and tell you about why I bought a new boat and things like that. I'd looked at used boats before. I even actually traveled down to Mexico to see a Lagoon 460 that was 4 years old. But we decided to buy new because I'm so new to boating, and I'm not familiar with any of the boating systems or diesel engines or anything like that. So there's a super going by. So I thought buying new would have less maintenance issues, and any of the major issues like engine failure or anything like that would be on warranty. It's getting annoying. We decided on a Bali because we liked the overall design. So we looked at Fountaine Peugeot, we looked at Leopards, we looked at Lagoons and all these other boats. But we decided on a Bali because we like the solid foredeck that didn't have any trampoline net, so you could take full use of the area outside. It has a front door, which is very rare, so that's better for airflow. And it has in the back this like garage door opening where basically the whole back wall lifts up, so it really invites the outside in. And yeah, that was nice. But I think looking back, if I were to do this whole thing over again, I wouldn't buy new. I would look for a slightly used boat, like 6 months or a year old. It's probably really hard to find, but the reason is because I didn't expect on spending so much money on just equipping a new boat. I'm just like, a new house. You have to buy everything for the kitchen, new plates, new cups. We didn't bring really anything from Toronto. And things like a dinghy that cost like 10,000 euro. So I will probably, and plus you've got all the kinks worked out. The owner would have already resolved any issues, any of the warranty issues, and all that. We went through so many delays, massive delays, change in itinerary. There's just so many things that we wouldn't have had to have done if we had bought a slightly used boat. So that's the first piece of advice on this channel. Don't buy new. Buy slightly used. And if you are going to buy new, make sure that you have or done your due diligence on a really good dealer. We were fortunate though. We had a really good dealer, really nice people, West Side Sailing out of Germany, and I think they're going to help us out a lot. I can't imagine what buying new would have been like for somebody who didn't have a good dealer that would represent them well, like maybe a big charter company or something like that. That would not. I've heard horror stories. So yeah, I think overall though, it's easier to buy slightly used. Oh, another thing. I also found the whole process of buying a brand new boat ridiculously difficult. It was so hard to find insurance because I'm a Canadian looking to buy a boat in the Mediterranean, and no one would do it. So I must have spent hours and hours and days, weeks looking for insurance companies, talking to European insurance companies, talking to US insurance companies, and finally I found one actually in Canada, out of a company called Hub International. I will leave the contact details in the description link below. So it was really difficult. Finally I got it. It cost me about 1% of the value of the boat. So about $7,500 a year. And they put a restriction on me that I can't travel by myself without someone that has experience, which I don't blame them, really. And I can get this limitation lifted once I get some lessons or some time on the boat. So that'll be interesting. I'll see what happens in about 6 months. And what else? Oh, if you buy a boat in Canada, they have this rule where they want to send a tonnage measurer out to survey the boat. I don't know why. It's a brand new boat. It's just a stupid law. And so I originally wanted to register the boat under Canada, flag it under Canada. And I wouldn't have to pay VAT or anything like that. So, but the Canadian regulatory body wanted to send a tonnage measurer out to measure a boat that was just being made in Tunisia. And due to COVID restrictions and all that, the shipyard wouldn't allow anyone in. And I had to get the boat registered before I got the boat insured, and I had to get the boat insured before they could deliver it from Tunisia to Sicily. So that was a huge hassle. Eventually, I ended up I was given a recommendation to go to a registration company called Bluewater Registration Services. And again, I'll leave the information in the link. And they suggested that I flag it under San Marino. And that is why you see a San Marino flag under our Italy courtesy flag, because San Marino is this little EU country. It's funny because it's completely landlocked, that will give you boat registration within a week. And for like 3 years, it costs a little bit more money. Doesn't have a lot of restrictions on what you need. All you need is a pleasure boat craft license. In Canada was fine for boats under 24 meters. And the reason why we went to San Marino was because it's a country in Europe that's not in the EU. So I didn't have to pay VAT, which is like 22%. Oh, and I almost forgot, I have some other footage from our trip from Rome to Capo d'Orlando. So please enjoy.
Our first stop was an hour outside of Rome in a very nice villa on an olive grove with great views. We ended up having dinner in town, and our first meal was delicious. We have found the local wine to be as cheap as water and extremely good. Out of the next 3 days of traveling, we probably liked the wine here the most. It was from Montepulciano. Paola, to pay respects to St. Anthony, who has a church here. For those who misplace things as often as we do, giving a shout out or a prayer to St. Anthony really helps. Seriously, try it. Our stay here was, let's say, a little bit too rustic. We were welcomed with the heavy smell of a fireplace and mold. The hot water wasn't working well, no Wi-Fi, and tons of mosquitoes. So I didn't include any pictures of the place. Anyways, we woke up extra early that morning to get out of there as fast as we could. Next stop was Villa San Giovanni, about 4 hours away, and it's a nice little port town on the Strait of Messina. From there, we bought ferry tickets at the Tabernacle, and it was only about a half an hour ferry ride, so very close. It was jam-packed, and a lot of people going to the island for, I guess, Sunday brunch. We arrived at the beaches of Capo d'Orlando about an hour and a half later, after stopping through a shopping mall, which is quite convenient. And this is where we would stay for another 4 days because our boat was delayed, and we were waiting for our dealer to come in from Germany for the official handover. But our place at Capo d'Orlando was really nice, right on the main part of town, on the strip, with views of the beach. and close to the restaurants and cafes. We settled in there quite nicely, where our morning routine was get up, go grab a coffee, croissant, take a walk. So it was really nice. It was this lull before the storm. We ended up finding a great cafe with croissants that we loved. We ended up buying 30 of them, where we stuck them in the freezer and we would eat them over the next couple of weeks. So our dealer came down and we had an amazing dinner at this barbecue or meat restaurant, and the steaks were incredible, and they were actually really fairly priced, like $20 for a top steak. And I had something that was sold by the ounce, so mine was quite a bit more expensive, but it was delicious.
And here she is, Elysium. So I haven't given you guys a tour yet, but so I'll give you one now. This is a 10-foot dinghy with a 15 horsepower Yamaha engine. That's the back. Misty's already gone pee there once, which we were really surprised and quite happy with. And there's the Italian flag, San Marino, where it's registered, and of course our Canadian flag. So we really liked the Bali boats because of two things: the amount of livable space, the fact that this door can actually go up, and the amount of space that's up here on the fly deck. I wanted something with a fly deck. So there's a big couch here. Let me bring you into the living area. So big couch here, big table with, you can put just a bunch of stuff in there, and then underneath is a compartment where you can put wine bottles and things like that. There's another couch here. We got a TV, and right now I'm going to I'll raise the okay, so I just unlocked the hinges. This door comes up. Really bringing the outside in. Well, you know, I've seen videos of this, but when you get on board, I mean, everything looks smaller than on the video. So it looks really big here, but the living area it looks big, but it's not that big. Here's our kitchen. This is where I work. The chart table. And we'll go up the front. Oh, and this is another reason why we really like the Bali boats, is because of the fact that there's no net or trampoline, and so again this becomes this huge sunbathing area. And there's the fly deck. The helm. And this area here is really nice. This is so comfy. And then this sun lounge area. It's really nice. Okay, so now I'll bring you downstairs to the berths. Okay, so here we are going into the guest cabins. The hallways are pretty narrow. We'd ordered fans, but they forgot to install them, which has made life very difficult for us on these hot days. And you have a nice sort of window here. Lots of storage space. Now I'll bring you to this. There's a bathroom here. It's a very tight squeeze. And that goes into the shared shower. I'll actually go through here into the other bathroom and into the next guest bedroom, which I think is, yeah, it's slightly larger. A few more windows. Okay. Now we're going into the master. So this is a 3-cabin owner's version. So normally the charter companies will have a 4-cabin version, just because they can rent out more rooms. But the bathroom in the owner's version is really nice. It's double sinks, pretty big shower. Here there's washing machine. Oh. And here she's got her own makeup table. And yeah, that's about it.
We finally moved on to our boat, but little did we know that our problems were just about to start. And as promised, I will give you all the good and the bad. And here's the bad. It was brutal. Don't let these nice pictures fool you, because it became a mix of really high highs and really low lows. Our boat ended up being stuck in customs for 2 weeks, and they were probably the 2 hottest weeks in October that Sicily had ever seen. I'm not good with heat, so I was always sleeping outside. The mosquitoes were terrible. I must have had over 30 bites. We had ordered fans for the bedrooms, but Bali forgot them, so we had to open our windows, and that's how I got bit so badly. We had other problems, like a broken shower drain pump, a broken seawater pump, cosmetic defects like a dent in the fridge, and they still have to be dealt with. The barbecue hose was also improperly put in, as well as the laundry machine hose. There are also issues with the stainless steel quality, but that might have been because the boat was sitting in the shipyard for about 5 months before it was shipped to us. We were supposed to get Yanmar 45s, but after COVID, Yanmar had some serious production delays, and eventually Katana just dropped them and gave us nanny engines instead. So we'll see how that turns out. Anyways, it was very frustrating for us since life became miserable. We stopped feeling like a vacation, and it started to feel like we were trapped in the marina. Barcando, the charter service company who was looking after our boat, was kind enough to offer us a catamaran to visit the Aeolian Islands. But that would have cost us over €500 for the captain and cleaning charge, so we had to pass on that. In the meantime, we were in contact with our skipper, Giuseppe, and had plans set for when we could finally leave. Then it happened. On October 12th, we received our final papers. It turns out that Katana was slow to communicate with the authorities, and there was confusion over the VAT issue with our boat. In retrospect, though, things could have been a lot worse. Yes, I made a few bad decisions, but I know I'll make a lot more going forward. So anyways, I'll leave you with a few clips of a beautiful night in paradise. And stay tuned for the exciting start of our adventure where we leave for the Aeolian Islands, which is where we will pick up the next episode of the Adventures of the Great Banana.
Guys, I have to tell you, marina life is where it's at. Just had a great dinner, and now we're just gonna sit and finish our wine, but it's just perfect. Like, the weather is nice, no bugs. It's just beautiful.